What's poppin', people? It's Xzavier Antonio, and you are in for an amazing episode of the In Conversation podcast session. I'm sitting here with somebody when it comes to style and fashion and all the great things that he does as a loctician. He does not come to play. He's showing up, and he's gonna show out every freaking time. Like, did you have to dress up this great, and be this interesting today on the show, Mr. Andre Purdy from Purdy Wear? And that is a nice outfit, man.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like you always got to represent your brand and represent who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Once I saw what you had on, I had to go talk to my stylist in the back and say, I need something, a little something better than what I had on. Yeah. So it ain't on your level, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's interesting. It might show I got a little style.
All right.
So, Andre, man, you, first and foremost, man, like, you are a loctician.
Yes.
And even before that, I knew you were a designer. You know what I mean? I'm a fashion designer. And as a designer, I was told that, you know, the type of things that you design are quite interesting. But before we get into that, you know, some people brag about themselves, y'all, and they say, I'm this, I'm the king of this, I'm the king of that. This man right here is in fact the lock king, and I didn't just hear it from him. You know, like so many other people have when I was thinking about, you know, getting my locks, most of my friends were saying, man, you need to go holler at Andre. You need to go holler at Andre, you know.
Yeah.
So you're somebody that I definitely trust, man. How did you, I know you went to school, right?
Yes.
For hair. But I imagine that they can only teach you so much in school. And maybe they even teaching you the same thing they're teaching everybody else. You know what I mean? So how do you get to a point where you're excelling beyond other people in this particular industry and gaining the title of the king loctician, the lock king? What is it about you that made you this person?
Wow, those are good questions, and one word comes to mind is passion. When the passion grows, you can't stop it. You can't help yourself, and you live it, you dream it, you sleep it, you eat it. And when I came through cosmetology school, what made me gravitate to natural hair was the fact of the knowledge that we were learning what relaxers and perms were doing to our people. And I had an automatic conviction, and in that conviction, I said, I can't do it. And when we had to do our final papers and speak about what salon we would have, the classroom literally laughed. They laughed and said I would go broke from trying to do nappy hair because in that era, relaxers were very popping and popular, and women just could not see another way out. And I was determined to wake up my people.
Right.
And that's how it started.
Dude, that's actually not only a great story, but that I think is a great thing to think about. Like when you're thinking about like the trend and what's trendy, you know what I'm saying, and the timeline of that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you really got started at a point which almost makes you, at least in this market, what kind of makes you one of the founders of the trend in a sense. You know, locks have always been around, but in a time where people are focused on perms and relaxers and all of that, if you're one of those people who steps out and say, no, I'm only focusing on this is what we need to be doing as a people, there's a natural meaning behind it, there's a spiritual meaning behind it, and you're doing it at a time where not everybody is agreeing with you, that means that when we start to see what we've seen now, the trend of locks blossoming, and now everybody has locks, that doesn't happen without people setting the example.
Yes.
And that means that you're one of those people, you know what I'm saying? Because this was something that you was passionate about and that you stuck with, you know what I'm saying?
You hit an interesting point. I do proudly wear the title King of Locks of Milwaukee. I am most certainly proud of it, and I was the forerunner in that time frame. And I was interviewed at one time by the journal Sentinel, and they said, where do you think this natural hair thing is going? Because they thought it was just a phase. And I said, my goal is just to change the city of Milwaukee one locked head at a time. I still have that plaque and that interview, and I'm so proud of it because now we sit here and look at the manifestation of one person. You had natural hair salons like the African salons. I won't take anything away from their gift and their craft, but there was no one doing locks and giving our people another alternative. And here we are today.
Yeah, man. I have so much of my journey, man. I appreciate you for it. You know,
thank you.
I mean, you don't just lock a person's hair, but you consult them. You get to know what you're working with.
It's an experience.
You get to educate them on what they need to be doing, how to better take care of the hair. You see the mistakes that people are making, and you don't try to, you know what I'm saying, hurt nobody else's business or anything like that. You just give the facts that you know. Like, this is a fact. You could do this if you want to, but here's going to be the end result if you go with this type of, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you being very informative on this journey, and then just being great at what you do.
Thank you.
Man, I remember one story about somebody who had came to you, and you had did this guy's locks, and he really, really liked it. It was different because you know I like to be like, man, freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you feel. And this guy liked what you did.
Yeah.
But then he hit you up later that day because his girl didn't like it. His girl felt like, oh, that's too girly, this, that, and the other. And so one thing that I could say is that I trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel I don't care what style I get, what anybody got to say about it, because I know who did this. Andre Purdy did this. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, so many people, I become even more of a head turner, you know what I'm saying, when I get out of your chair. So thank you so much for that, man. And if you guys are interested in getting your locks done, getting them retwisted, Andre can really take care of you. He's right there on 51st and Center. That's centrally located in our city. You know what I mean? So we'll make sure you get the contact information, phone number, address, and all of that for Andre. Now, that's not the only talent that you have. All right?
No.
You're also a fashion designer.
Yes.
And you're a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? I know that fashion or style is about unique expression.
Yes.
And it seems like when you're passionate about a certain message, that makes you more passionate about a certain skill, right? Using locks as an example. You guys were in these classes talking about natural hair versus the relaxers, all this chemicals, all the damages, all this type of stuff. And your message then at that point became, we need to be doing what's healthy for our hair, right? And so you stuck with the natural.
Yes.
Now with designing, you have an interesting theory and ideology and message with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can explain how you want to explain it. I'm gonna just say it like people should be comfortable in their selves, in their skin, and all of that. So maybe you could just explain a little bit about your inspiration for a lot of the designs that you put together.
All right. Listen, I believe in self-expression. As a kid, I grew up, and in most poor black families, the mothers and the fathers mean well, but they become dream killers to black children in our era that was born in the 60s and the 70s, where you had certain types of jobs that were expected. That good job was a factory job at A.O. Smith or the post office. And you were not encouraged to do sewing or designing. And if you were, it was something kind of wrong. But I was always unique, and I always knew it, but I couldn't always express it. So as I got older, my other gift of expression came out through my fashion and my style that has developed. And my grandmother was the designer in our home, and I just watched as a little boy. So so it's just inbred. And then my designs are considered bold, audacious, cutting edge, urban chic, because I still believe in being finely dressed for any occasion, but also express yourself, be different, be uniquely who you are. When you can do that, that's when we're all happy. And that's what I'm after. Yeah.
You know, we're gonna see. Typically, we're gonna see some skin somewhere. You know, and most of your stuff. You know, we know your skill is is a wide range of skills. But you know, I think many of us who may come to a show, we're looking forward You know what I'm saying? To seeing some skin. This Purdy wear. We know we gonna see some skin. We gonna see a little nipple. we gonna see a kneecap. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see some type of imprint. We gonna see something. You know what I mean? And I remember, man, I was dating a model that used to work with you a lot. And you know, and I just remember finding out she was gonna be modeling for you. I was like, no, your nipples will not be seen by 300 people today. Not in this relationship. You know, I had some growing up to do. You know what I'm saying? Definitely had some growing up to do. And your stuff don't never be, you know, like all super wow. You know what I mean? And even if it is, you know what I'm saying? I think we're living in a time now where people are kind of becoming more conscious and more expressive of their self and less worried about, because half the time when we got a problem with something, we not the ones who naturally have a problem with it. It's what we were programmed to have a problem with something, and then when we try to make it make sense why we got a problem with it, it'd be like, yeah, but that's what somebody else taught you. Still, you're still not coming up with an original perspective on how you really feel. You know what I'm saying? And what you really think. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, we just don't dismiss those people. But if you're looking for something bold, and cutting edge, audacious, you know what I'm saying? All those types of things. This man most likely got what you need, or he can custom design some stuff for you. You know what I mean? One of a kind.
I do. Right now I'm specializing in one-of-a-kind items, and because that's the flow. A lot of what we're seeing now with Nordstrom's and different big companies like this is going to be obsolete really soon. And a lot of personal boutiques are popping up where they'll carry some of my clothing and other popular designers, because that's the trend. Most people now are looking for one-of-a-kind. It's still saying, I want to express myself. And so I believe in, I love the body that God has given us, and we were born naked, and I believe if we take care of our temple, show it off. And so that's why I don't mind a nipple or two showing, but it's tasteful. And that's what I bring to the game, is tasteful, and I appreciate it.
That makes me think about the fact that like a lot of the major retail companies, and I haven't studied the entire history of retail. You know, I know a little bit about, you know, something, but I haven't studied a lot of it. But what I imagine is that in America, where so many things were industrialized and it was, you know, this a capitalistic society and all of that, when you got a lot of like businesses that are growing, we're talking 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it may be, businesses that are growing and they want everybody to dress a certain way, you gotta look a certain, you gotta have a suit on, you gotta look like this. It might have made sense back then to actually have mass production of all these suits that look exactly the same. Clones, you know what I'm saying? Clones, you know, different colors, some ties, they're the same tie, we just, you know, just different color on it. The what women were expected to wear, you know, all of these different things, you know, but before that, what did we have? You know what I'm saying? We if you go back to Africa or really just I think any colony, any community whatsoever, you probably had somebody in the village or in the camp who was the one designing whatever you was gonna wear, whether it was some fig leaves or whatever it is. You probably had somebody in the village or somebody in the family that was doing that. So honestly, it's kind of like and we understand the idea of boutiques as well, but something about what you just said made me think about, it's kind of like what we're doing now. We're getting back to in not just in entrepreneurship, but we're getting back to individuality, or the more opportunity for individuality when we can have and we have access to designers who can customly, you know, make things for us.
Absolutely.
Or even just even smaller boutiques. You know what I mean? Because some boutiques, what they might do is they might not have anything where they're the one designing, but they might try to at least keep their items as exclusive as possible.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm only gonna buy two or three of these in this size, and then after that's gone, I ain't ordering that no more. To, you know, offer some type of exclusivity to customers. You know what I'm saying? So I see that wave. I can see we're really headed that way. And Andre Purdy, I believe that you are definitely going to be and are one of the pioneers of such a trend and such a wave and a shift. So you're always right on time with what you're doing.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we got to do stuff stuff regardless. Some people might have an issue with it. Like if you wouldn't have pushed past what parents thought or what whoever thought, you wouldn't be great at being you. You're not great at what somebody else does.
Absolutely right.
Andre Purdy is great at what Andre does. You know what I'm saying? You're great at who Andre is.
There you go. You took it right from me.
Yeah.
I always say, listen, you can't beat me at doing Andre. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's with all of us. I can't beat you at the gift God has given you. So if we all focused on our individual giftings and allow that to spring up and prosper, you can't be beat. Your gift makes room for you.
Yeah. I know a lot of the problem is sometimes people just don't have the opportunity to discover, you know what I'm saying, that opportunity. You know what I mean? Some of us are lucky we just at the right place at the right time, we meet the right person, the right thing happens, and damn, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me seek this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have that. We know you did an evening of fashion back in 2021 with Purdy Wear, with Andre Purdy.
Yes.
And that was a phenomenal thing. We thought we were going to see it last year. We thought we was going to see it this year, but you holding out on us, man.
I am. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Making us wait. So I hope we got something coming soon, because that was a phenomenal show, man. And I know you had Mark was helping you on that, and Jeff McAllister Jr. was helping you on that. How was that for you, that experience, putting that event together?
Wow. You know, that was a long time coming, and I've known Jeff McAllister and Mark Patrick for quite some time, and the vision was always there, and I was just waiting on money. So when I got my funds together, the vision was already there. And so I called the people I knew who were excellent at what they do. And I said, will you be willing to be a part of the board? They said yes. And I said, we want to do it this year. And so that's how they heard my vision, and they were willing to support the vision. And we moved on from there, and an evening of fashion is what it was called, with Andre Purdy. And it was scary. My first time doing my own. Didn't know how the people were truly going to receive the risque, the conservative, and we almost packed out the house, and that was great. And it was such a feeling. I'm lost for words now. But
because I know that you've been a part of other people's shows that they organize.
Yes.
And usually in most cases there's always some type of, I want to say, restriction. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Or some type of requisite.
Absolutely.
You know, there's always something, like maybe some people are like, oh, this Andre Purdy, we know what we're going to get. We're going to let Andre do Andre. But there's always something where even as the organizer, you got to think about what they going to say if I do this, and what they going to say.
Absolutely.
And you got to pump yourself up to not care, or to try to figure out how do I. But this is your show. On this particular show, you ain't got to worry about what nobody got to say, this, that, and the other. So did you feel like it was like, I'm unleashed. I can do it. It
was a freedom.
Yeah.
It was absolutely liberating. It was a freedom. You nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
And in that's what the mindset was. I can do me, and nobody can tell me no.
Yeah.
And in that, you had women screaming. You had men screaming in awe of the simplicity as well as the complication and of style. You had all walks of life, businesses, white, black, Hispanic, and those doors were pushed wide open because you dared to do something different. I dare to be cutting edge, and I dare to continue to push all of you to do the same thing. We don't want to be bored. I hate being bored. Don't invite me to something and I'm bored, because you're scared to really be the gift that you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I bring. And I have a thing that I like to say is kind of cheeky, but I always say I'm allergic to cheap. And so cheap makes me itch. So therefore, I try to do things at a quality level that most people would enjoy, and because it's feeding the people. Mm-hmm. And I want to feed you something for your mind, your body, and your soul through fashion.
Absolutely. And you definitely done. I was there. I enjoyed the show. It was phenomenal. So you did all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So I'm not a screamer, so I wasn't screaming. You know what I mean? But I was definitely cheering and clapping and standing up because it was barely a seat that was available. And that all speaks volumes and good things about the event. Now, you also had opportunity most recently to be a part of a fashion show at the Market Art Museum called the Art in Bloom.
Yes.
What a phenomenal time. Now, first of all, you were partnered or teamed up with someone named Jacqueline from Roundy's, who is their florist.
Yes.
So how was that experience collaborating? Or first of all, just explain what the task was that you and Jacqueline were tasked with.
All right. That's still one of my more fonder memories because we just slayed the house. And Art and Bloom reached out to me after seeing one of my garments that I designed, and they wanted me to be a part of the show. And I said yes. And upon saying yes, they gave us restrictions and guidelines. And they said, but we're teaming every designer up with a florist and from around the city. And so I happen to be teamed with this beautiful young lady by the name of Jacqueline, and she's the manager of the floral department at Roundy's at Metromark on the east side. And so I went in, she didn't know me, I didn't know her, we met, and it was just like magic. It was smooth and easy. It wasn't hard to communicate. She heard my vision and immediately she latched onto it. And with the Art and Bloom, the guidelines are everything must be floral. And this is one of the most prestigious fashion shows given in the city, or floral shows given in the city and around the country. And to be invited in is a big deal.
Yeah.
And she listened to my vision, and it took off from there, and the rest is history to first place. So
you talking about an event where it's fashion, it's art, and it's in the bloom part. Art in Bloom is because it's the theme is floral.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so it's really all of that. Fashion, art, flowers, it's all of that.
Yeah.
And when you first got involved, you just thought, I'm participating in this amazing show, a great opportunity for some exposure, you know.
Right.
And then maybe a day before the event,
yes,
you found out it was an actual competition. They told y'all last minute. So if it would have been hard for y'all to change y'all mind about anything that y'all wanted to put together. And so did that make you nervous finding out that it was a competition at all?
It gave me it made me a little nervous. Had you told me it was a competition, my mind would have went somewhere else.
You would have brought it a little harder.
Oh, yes. And I'm extremely competitive, and I love it. And the thing about Art and Bloom, again, is that they gave you plenty of room to spread my wings. And there was no holds barred. Hey, have at it. And I believe in entertainment. I love to be entertained. I don't want the people to be bored at what you say. This is your arts and craft. This is bigger than arts and craft.
Yeah.
And so they gave the room to express. And the day before, it was nerve-wracking when they said competition, because I had so much respect for the other artists and designers around me who I know are phenomenal. Yeah. And so I'm like, but I brought it on home.
Yeah, you brought it on home. And so, now, what did you put together for the show? What was it that you gave them?
Well, one garment was the winning. Well, both garments were the winning garments. Andre Purdy shined in everything that we had touched, and Jacqueline and I, it came in gold. But the one garment that the people loved was a pantsuit of cream and black floral. I designed a jacket, a tailored fit jacket that was big floral design, and the pant to it was a bell bottom, cream and black, but a whole different floral pattern. And so it messed with your sensories, and so I decided to jazz it up, cut up the jacket in the middle, and then I reattached the jacket with black cording. And then I decided to make an accent hat, and it was all black, and I needed it to be hellacious in size. And so I began the process, and And I didn't do it all myself. I'm in class, as we know, and in design school, and so my design partners, I'll say that's my dean and my other instructor, they taught me very quickly a crash course on how to measure out what I was doing. I gave them the vision, and they let me go with the project. Okay. And the hat became a hellacious hat, and I added flowers. Since it had to be flowers, I added flowers and added feathers that made the hat bloom and blossom, and it was just a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and you gave it away before we got to it.
I'm sorry.
But you talked about how these items were the winning garments of the evening.
Yeah.
So you get involved in the show, think it's going to be full exposure, doing something great that you love to do. Yeah. Then you find out it's an actual competition.
Yeah.
Then you design this stuff and get it all together and mess around and win first place.
Win first place. And the buzz of the evening, they started just saying the hat. And
yeah, I know.
And I've had several buyers for the whole outfit, and the other garment was another floral garment, and I accessorized this model's hair with roses and tulips and all wonderful flowers, and she was of course, Eve in the garden, and the flowing silk garment that was flowing off of her, it was just breathtaking.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more proud of my work, as well as the models and the people who assisted me, because no island stands alone.
Right.
But I love the fact that God has blessed me with vision, and I'm just stupid enough, as I say, to believe in what I see in my sleep and wake up and make it happen.
Yeah, man. It was really phenomenal. I wasn't there at that event, but I saw a lot of the video.
Oh, okay,
as a matter of, and I was just amazed by it. As a matter of fact, my daughter's mom was sitting next to me in the car, and I was scrolling through the video, and I was just talking to her about you anyway.
Yeah.
And she saw, she kind of out her peripheral.
Yeah.
She saw the video. She like linked over, like, wait a minute. Like, I want to go to a fashion show.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, first of all, baby, they might not all be like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show, like, you encourage somebody to want to start going to fashion shows. So definitely doing some amazing things, man. And it's my hope, it's our hope as a community that stand behind you, that these opportunities and that these experiences take you to great heights. I mean,
I'm honored.
Personality-wise, mental-wise, skill-wise, you're already there. We just need the rest of the world to catch up.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's been phenomenal speaking with you today, Andre Purdy. We went over so much today, and even went over time. But it was amazing, man. Yeah. There's just so much to talk about. You know what I mean? We could actually probably go on for another hour just talking about the amazing opportunities that you've been presented with. But can you just tell us real quick if you got anything planned coming up, maybe this year, next year, any shows or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. Right now I'm working on some garments, and that will be revealed at the Milwaukee Fashion Week. It's taking place September 14th, 15th, and 16th. Yep. The 16th, I will be showcasing.
Yeah, and that finale show, y'all don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it. I have a real treat for fashion community Milwaukee. No matter who you are, if you are a person that loves style and unique things, I got you again.
Yeah. I'll be in the building. I would definitely be in the building.
Looking for you.
Best way to contact Andre Purdy, obviously, is going to be check him out on Instagram, check him out on Facebook. Any other way you want to make sure they can contact
Instagram,
you?
Purdy Wear. Purdy_wear, WEAR, as well as my cell number is the best way to reach me, especially for your hair appointments. I'm still in business. People think that I'm not, but listen, cell number 414-801-8876. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Bring me your natural hair needs, and we will work out a solution.